Hello, good afternoon, good Erev Shabbos to everybody. I wanted to share the following thought on Parshas Korach. Begins in the Gemara in Maseches Nedarim. The Gemara there is having a discussion about it. Would somebody ever prohibit their benefit upon somebody else? Make an oath such that you will not be able to benefit from me. And the Gemara gives the rationale with a very striking line. It says, yeah, a person might make a neder, because a person might be saying, Lav malka ana that I am not a king, that I should be able to give you benefits and you're not going to give me benefits in return. And as one is learning through this halachic section, one just continues on, but one should just pause and say, wait a second, what exactly is the role of a king? He's saying, am I a king that I'm only going to give you benefit? And I'm not going to get any benefit in return, implying what? That the role of the king is to give benefit, is to benefit others without being able to get anything in return. And that's a bit striking when we think about what the role of a monarch is generally in the world. Of course, there is a tension in the Torah, within the Torah, as to what is the role of a king. We have Torah's description at the end of in Sefer Devarim, where the Torah says that this is something you should do. You should have a king. But yet, when the time comes in the book of Shmuel and the people request a king from Shmuel Hanavi, Shmuel responds saying, "This is terrible. You should by no means should you have this king." And it's a very why? Well, I thought the Torah said that it's something you should do. So many point out that the discussion is different. The Gemara, the Torah in Dvarim, when describing the positive aspects of being a king, is also describing the things that a king is then not allowed to do. And a king is not going to be permitted to have too many wives, not going to be allowed to have too many horses. It is limiting his power. But yet, in Sefer Shmuel, when people talk about having a king, Shmuel's warning is about the other aspects of the king. That king is going to be able to take this from you and that from you, and he's going to have too much power over you. So a king that is a giver, as described in Shoftim, is the positive, while the king who is a taker, as described in Shmuel, is a problem. And that perhaps gives some insight as to the beginning of Parshas Korach. In the beginning of Korach, of course, the Parsha begins with the words, Vayikach Korach, that Korach took. And it's unclear what he's taking and who he's taking and where he's going, what that word means and what it is going on. And Rashi gives various explanations, but one of the Hasidic masters, the Majitzer Rabbi, explains that Korach's mistake, what did Korach want? He wanted clearly in this week's Parsha, he wanted the kahuna, but he also wanted to be the priest. He also wanted to be the king. He wanted all the power, the priesthood, the kingship, etc. And why did he want to have that power? Vayikach Korach, because of the things that he anticipated that one would be able to take from it. Because a king has power, and a king is able to take things from people through the power of eminent domain and the other roles that a king has. As opposed, the same thing with the kahuna, the priesthood. They take things from people. They might take korbanos. They may benefit from sacrifices. They're going to benefit from the gifts that are given to kohanim, shuma and challah, other things that are given to them. And Korach's focus perhaps was, what am I going to be able to get? What am I going to be able to gain from these positions? And it's not fair that Moshe is getting all those gains and I'm not getting them. It's not fair that Aaron is able to get Truma and I'm not able to get Truma. I'm not able to get the same gifts. However, the focus of these positions of power can never be about what I am getting from the position. Those things that one gets is only to sustain them to figure out what they can give. Yes, a Kohen might get the matnas kahuna, the gifts of the kahuna, but that's because his role is then to be a teacher and an inspirational figure for the rest of Klal Yisrael. Yes, a king may receive certain things, but it's only so that he will be able to give to Klal Yisrael, to be a Baal Chesed. What is David HaMelech, King David, most proud of? The fact that he was able to help poor people and be to chesed for people, answer shilas for people, be able to solve the other people's problems. In fact, that's the first words in the Sefer Mesilas Yesharim. Mesilas Yesharim begins with the words Macho vaso be'olamo, that a person should always ask, what is their obligations in this world? What can they do for others in this world? Not necessarily what they can get from the world, but what they can give for the world. Perhaps that shed some light on some of the issues of the previous couple of weeks, and perhaps it gives us some things to think about over the course of Shabbos Parshas Korach. I wish everybody a good Shabbos.